Alright, for demonstration purposes, now we're at the scenes. You can add many different types of scenes with many different types of things. I will not be adding one just because I don't want this recording to mess up, but it holds all your sources. This is to add a scene, this is to delete a scene, this is to open the filters, this is to move it up, and this is to move it down. And that is scenes. Sources. Well, they're sources, obviously. This is what gets recorded, or I should say outputted. I don't think that's the right term. Oh well, it's a basic OBS guide. You know what you got into. Currently, there's only a mic and a display capture. Display capture is lazy. Never use a display capture. I am only using it because this is how to show it most conveniently and with all of these menus. This is to add a source, this is to delete a source, this is to open the properties of the source, this is to move a source up, this is to move a source down. It's best I explain each and every source to you, but also you have the written guide on the side. Application audio capture. It captures audio from an application. Yeah, this is actually what you will want you to use for everything. It's not lazy, like how display is with desktop audio, hearing literally everything. Nobody wants to hear that, okay? So that's why you use application audio capture. Now sometimes it'll get through. I know it will, because it's the application itself that's making one of those Windows sounds instead of Windows itself. You choose the specific window. Window title must match, means it has to be the exact same title as the window. So let's say you have, let's say you update OBS. Up here, you can see the window title, and you want to capture this for something. Let's say we're on 32.0.5. It will not record it at that point, which is why people will choose match title, otherwise find window same type or same executable. Same executable is generally better. Same type is a little confusing. Same executable though, that means if it's the same kind of application, it will record it. It's like you're playing two different Unreal Engine games. That's when same type would choose them as the same. But same executable is going to choose like Fortnite.exe only. Okay? If the executable changes, then that's probably why it's not showing up. And these will be on a lot of different sources. So just remember that. Audio input capture lets you choose an audio input to have a voice go through. Most likely you'll want to choose your microphone, your default microphone. Using device timestamps, I'm pretty sure will remove this if it's ever unplugged. So probably don't have that on. Yeah, I may be wrong though. I didn't research that. Audio output capture lets you capture an audio output. You know, like the actual speakers from your PC. Every different kind of speaker. It can choose one of those to capture the output of that. But you don't want to do that. You definitely don't want to do that. That is also a lazy way of doing it. I will say though, you know, if like, I don't know, very few things will be helpful from this. So just know that. A browser allows you to add a browser source. Here we have a default one. See? It tells you exactly what it's all about. You can add an overlay for stream here. Just make sure the width and height match. You can allow yourself to control the audio through OBS, which I do recommend. You could have it use a custom frame rate if you want, but I don't know. Shut down when it's not visible. You can refresh it when the scene becomes active, you know, just in case you're worried it won't load. Here we have google.com. Ooh, look at it move around. Yay. You can interact with it right here. See? I can look up balls. Wow, look at that. You can search up balls on the stream very directly. See through even. That's not really what you'd use it for, honestly. It's mainly for overlays. And if you used Streamlabs OBS, hopefully you're not anymore, this is where you'd put those sources. In fact, it'd just convert them, assuming you followed the guide right later on in this video. What the browser source is not for is for capturing a browser. That's what you use a window capture or even a game capture for. This literally puts a browser as a source. That's it. I mean, yes, I guess you could watch YouTube through it, but it's inconvenient, so not much of a reason to. Right. Color source. Well, it's currently over everything. Hold on. For demonstration, I suppose. Here it is. You can move a lot about, and then you can select a color for it. Hooray! You could use it as a sensor bar, I suppose. That's pretty much all it does. Display capture. I mean, you're seeing it right now. It captures the entire one display. If you want multiple displays, you can do that. But, you know, you gotta move them about like that, and is it worth it? No, because desktop audio is lazy. You are lazy if you use that, and you should never use that, okay? Promise me, you will never use display capture unless under the rare circumstances, such as right now for this guide, you need to capture the whole display to see context menus like this. You could change the way it captures, or just end, you know, which thing. There, see, you got the same screen on both things. It's a little odd. You could have it capture the cursor or not, and you can force SDR or not. Like if you generally use your monitor in HDR, that is when you'd use force SDR. Game capture is a little more than that. You could have it do certain things like okay, the one thing it can't do is record Chromium browsers. Yes, I use Opera. No, they don't sponsor me. It's just a browser. I just like how it looks too. So, you know, games, yes. Applications like Blender, yes. You would use this. It just is generally better. You don't have to use anti-cheat compatibility hook if your game doesn't have anti-cheat. And definitely probably don't capture cursor. I don't know, maybe you'll want to. You can capture audio with it, but I find it to be way more delayed when you use this one. I mean, that there's a reason it's in beta, I suppose. But to be fair, this is also in beta. This is just much further along, much more synced with real time. Meanwhile, this one, it's probably like 30 frames of delay? No, that's too much. I'd say 20 frames of delay. This is just the application audio capture is just a few frames, depending on the application. The highest I've seen was 7 milliseconds. Actually, no, 7 frames. You can use, just cut here. All right, this right here. I don't know what it is, but it says it's slow, so probably don't use it, right? Allow transparency. It allows for transparency on the window. So if it has that, maybe like a VTuber model, instead of like using a green screen, it's just transparent. And yeah, probably use that. Pre-multiplied alpha. Neither of us know what that means. If something has told you to use this, then probably use it. Limit capture frame rate. Yeah, that does what it says, right? Capture cursor. You'll generally want this off. I don't know, maybe in rare situations you'll want people to see your cursor, but nah. Anti-cheat compatibility hook. You might need to use this for games with anti-cheat. It's best to use it with those types of games, so make sure to do that. Capture third-party overlays, such as Steam, if you want people to see your Steam Online for some reason, or Discord friends on the side, then yeah, I guess have this on. Hook rate. This is how fast it starts recording, it starts trying to get the window. So let's say you want different priorities on which windows it gets running first. Let's say you care about one thing much less, you'll put it on slow. Let's say you want the game instantly there, you want it instantly to start going, put it on fast or fastest. Normal. I'm guessing these use more CPU, this uses less. RGB 1082 color space. Most of us won't care. Rec 210 PQ. Most of us won't be using this. But if you know you need to use it, it's right here. So yeah, game capture. You'll probably be adding a lot of those. Because you're not lazy, right? You're not lazy. I know you're not lazy. You wouldn't be lazy. You wouldn't give your audience a terrible product, right? Image. It allows you to put an image on the thing. Hey. You can unload it when it's not showing, and you can apply an alpha in your space. But what does that mean? What does that mean? I don't know. If you know you need it, you'll know where to find it though. But hey, look at it go. Whee, yeah. There's a reason I didn't show this render. Image slideshow. It's basically image, but in a slideshow. You could choose a folder, and you could change a lot of different things about it. Yeah, you could add a folder, which is what directory means, or just straight up certain files. I don't know, like fan art. If you want to show fan art in like the corner of your stream, this can be useful for that. Have it. I don't know what else. I'm not that creative with this because I don't stream that much. I don't have a reason for this. You change when it's visible with these. You could change it to be a manual slideshow, so you have to press a button to actually change the picture. You could change the transition. You could change how long it stays on it. You could change how long the transition goes. You can change what happens. Like, it could be on shuffle. It could loop just once. No. Or it could loop, or it could show the images just once. And when the slideshow is done, you can have it hide itself. It's pretty neat. Media source is similar to the last two. Instead, you're choosing a video. I use this for stream. Okay, I have to re-explain that again because, well, this isn't set up right. You never want to forget, but also this isn't gonna be here for long, so I just didn't bother setting it up. Advanced audio properties. Just put it not on everything, except maybe 3. We'll get into that later. Yeah, I mean, you can see the chapters below, like down here somewhere. But yeah, you could just have a video constantly playing, or you can make it big or small. Look at how tiny it is. It's nice. You could have it be a local file. If not that, then you have to give it an input, and I don't know how to do that. Oh well, right? So probably just go with a local file. You could even speed it up or slow it down. You could change the color range too. You could have it loop. You could have it restart when it becomes active. You could use it hardware encoding. You could show nothing when it ends. You could close the file when it's inactive. You could apply an alpha in linear space, but again, we don't know what that does. FFmpeg, you could have specific options for it if you need it. Most of us don't. Scene. You would add an existing scene. It allows you to add a scene to a scene if for some reason you need that. I don't know, maybe you have your overlay just in one scene and want to add that to everything instead of just adding the overlay to everything the other way. I actually don't know why this is a thing. It's odd. Text GA plus. Wow, look at that. You can have it say balls on the screen. Wow, look at that. Look at that go. You can have it anti-alias or aliased if you want. I don't know why you would have it anti-aliased. And there's a bunch of options for it. A lot of basic options. I use it, but only because I didn't put it in the video. I don't know, just think about what you're gonna do with it. Also, it can use local fonts you got. Video capture device. Okay. Jeez. Okay, so this is how you would do a webcam, or more realistically nowadays, a capture card. I don't have a capture card to show that yet, but yeah, you got a bunch of different things here if you need it. You can even flip it vertically for no reason. I'm sorry, but like the people who mirror their camera, which for some reason is most people, why do people put the camera on the wrong side? Always, to where it always makes sense to flip it vertically. I just don't get it. Try not to be one of those people. Have your camera showing the true you, not the mirrored you. Look at all the settings you get with it. It's pretty neat. Window capture. This is what you're using to record your browser. Look at that. It's that thing you always see. Yeah, pretty much all this stuff we've already gone over. Do not use capture audio beta again, because again, it adds a lot more delay than just application audio capture. Capture cursor? Nah. Client area? Normally, for applications on Windows, you'll see like a top bar up here, right? This is client area would remove that, and you have force SDR again as an option. Then you have group. You want to copy an entire group of sources into something? You'd use this just to make it a little easier. Deprecated. You got free type 2 text. I know it's more limited and just generally worse, so don't bother unless somehow this isn't performing right. And that is everything in the source types. If you have an extra one, like I did with VLC video source, then I can't really help you with that. I can only help you with this one if I left it in, at least. But yeah, hope you understood all that. The audio mixer. It is very important you understand the audio mixer and every single problem with the default one. You can see, you know, yours might look a little different. Like, hey, 0 to 10 for me is red, 10 to 20 is yellow, and the rest is green. So I must have to stay in the green, right? Wrong. After much testing, I have figured out that they made these colors stupid. Hear me out. So, what you're hearing right now is exactly the same as it was recorded right here in the yellow using True Peak, right? And it doesn't sound bad at all. It doesn't sound too loud, assuming your PC settings are correct or you don't have it overly loud on your headphones. This is correct sound. You should be in the yellow when considering True Peak. Now the images in the document, they're a little outdated, I will admit, because I wasn't using True Peak back then. I get it's a little more CPU usage, but 1% versus like what, 0.8? That's nothing. That's just nothing. Only on the weakest of PCs will this actually matter. True Peak will handle your audio so much better. I know we haven't gotten into it yet, but I still recommend just turning it on. Because this, I mean, even so, it's still a little confusing. Oh, so I must have to stay at 15, right? Right. That sounds like this. That sounds like this. When normally you should sound like this. And screaming, you should sound even higher. And of course, I have filters on that limit that. Because, you know, I'm not lazy, right? Now, the general areas in the guide are correct, you know. Normally around -10, that's good right now, obviously, you know. -5 is also fine, you know. Beyond that, you're pushing it a little, but they are so wrong for the default showing -5 as red. That is just so utterly wrong to do that. So it's just truly try to ignore these colors because they're meaning the wrong thing, honestly. And for every single different type of source, it's wrong. Other than maybe like a game capture, green is terribly wrong to be in. Now, let's say, yeah, let's say the bar looks like that. You know, that's bad. You don't want that. But if you're all the way down here, you know, my settings are too good. That doesn't even sound that bad. Okay, if you're in like the below 20, you are doing it wrong. If you are below 15, honestly, regularly, you're doing it wrong. That should be like whispering, like, you know, talking sultry to everybody around. And that's when you should be below 15. The normal speaking like a normal person, that's in the 10 to 5 range. Even a little more is fine. But what about a game capture? Now that you do want lower. You want that to peak at -20 because you don't want it being louder than your whispering. And what about other voices? Well, you could use the same rules as yourself, or you could just make them a little less than you. If the other voices aren't that important, like in game chat, just with randoms, And yeah, alright, have them lower than you. But if they're also a main focus, then okay, have them equal to you. This isn't just to like save time in editing or anything. This is also to actually have a good sounding stream. If you notice on Twitch a lot, people are so terribly quiet. And it's because they don't know good audio settings, because this is purposely misleading. It's terrible. I can't say it enough. This green, yellow, red is just terrible. It's terribly designed. You have to manually make it good designed. You can see in the pictures, they think, oh yeah, once you get to over 20, that sounds bad. You're actually getting to be a little too loud. No, that is correct. That is correct sounding audio. In fact, that's a little lower than correct. It's 10 lower than correct for a voice, you know, for a game. I'll give him that. Over 20 for a game, that's a little much, but not your voice. Definitely not your voice. So always remember the rule between 10 and 5 for the voice. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect either though. You know, clearly I've gone into the red a little, but I don't have to make the entire bar red like that. If it's like that, then yeah, that's a problem. For other voices, they're the same. If for some reason everybody in like Discord doesn't sound the same volume to you, that's honestly a you problem. I don't know why you don't have them sounding equal. You want somebody being louder, or you know, lesser if they're just truly randoms that don't matter as much. And for games, 20 or below. It's okay if it goes over rarely, like let's say with random bursts of noise like a jump scare. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Just consider how much it's going over. Like if it's going to the complete red bar, then no, don't do that. Just have it like at like 10 for a jump scare. I'm sorry, I'm still a little worked up over how misleading it is by default. Even this is a little misleading because it's saying, oh yellow, oh you're getting a little too loud, but no, yellow is correct. Yellow is the most correct area to be in. Alright, advanced options. This lets you change a lot. You could change the volume and you can change it by 1% or just by decibels. Probably use decibels. That gives you more to work with. You can change it to move left and right, or you can make it mono so it sounds equal on both sides, or just fully mono and that it only sounds like it's in front of you. You could have it sync offset, so let's change it by 1000. All right, now everything happens 1000 milliseconds slower. Yeah, for most things you won't want that. I'd say for a capture card though, with like a consistent delay, yeah, audio usually comes in first, so you might want that delayed. Maybe you'll want everything else delayed though. You can monitor your audio so you actually hear it. You could have it only monitored and just muted, or you could monitor and output it, which is what most people would use. Like if you want to make sure your mic sounds okay. Sorry if this sounds weird for a little bit, but you can do it here. Oh yeah, you're not hearing that because it goes through something else. I don't know, I was doing something else, my bad. But now, I don't know, it might have been muted there. And the tracks. This is always important to do, assuming you don't stream. If you're recording, you must always, never forget this, to separate your tracks. Editing on different tracks, it takes a little more effort, but it saves you a lot of trouble. It's honestly not that much more effort once you get used to it. You'll wonder how you ever edited without different tracks. But here, you can see desktop audio is on track 1. Here's what that looks like. My mic is on track 2. And that's what that looks like. And having it for, you know, a bunch of different sources to be on different tracks helps you afterwards. You can only have 6 though for OBS. So if you're thinking it's like studio level stuff where you could have 20 or 50 different tracks for some reason, no, don't think that. And then down here you could have it only show active sources if that's all you really care about. Scene transitions. Remember earlier Got the 3DS thing, and it faded. Yeah, that's what this changes. That's it. That's all it really does. You could change how long it goes on for. You could even add a different kind of transition. Yeah. There's also custom ones you could do, but I don't know how to do those, if I'm being honest. They might have imported from Slubs if you were from there. Maybe you'll have them here. You can always look up how to add custom transitions if you're into that. Stats. Well, again, it's just showing this stuff. I mean, what do you want me to say? I already told you about it. Chat. Once you start the broadcast, a chat will appear here. And I mean, this is just for YouTube. You know, it'll be different for like Twitch and stuff. That's pretty much that. Controls. You can start streaming. You can manage your broadcast. Look at all this stuff. This is just for YouTube though. Oh, look at that. There's that stuff. I don't. These are like long gone, and I don't know when I'm ever gonna start shiny hunting again. But hey, they're here, and you could open YouTube Studio even just to make them yourself. Neato, right? You'd start streaming. I will not. This would normally say start recording, but clearly I'm already recording. You could start up your virtual camera. I don't know, maybe for like a VTuber thing. I don't know. Actually, I don't know if the VTuber things work with this. Maybe they do. Maybe they can be transparent, and that's how you get every single color without having to chroma key one. Because I noticed somebody chroma keyed out a color, and some of their parts are transparent. It's weird. Studio mode. Look at that. Wowzers! It just keeps splitting off infinitely. That's terrifying. Yeah, you could transition here. And I mean, that's pretty much it. Let's say with the dock, you added a custom browser. I can't really help you with those settings. You're just gonna have to do that yourself. Because I don't know what custom dock you're using. It sucks to suck, but you could probably figure it out.